my channel. Welcome back for another video. Today I have my sister on the channel.
Hi guys.
I'm sure you guys know her by now because she's been on here so many times. I'm going to leave her Instagram link below as well as mine and all those links if you guys want to check us out. Not just here on YouTube but also on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere I can think. Today's video, as I'm sure you guys have seen from the title, is going to be a body confidence Q&A. I've not filmed one of these in such a long time. I used to film them all the time on my channel and I really miss that style of content. Before I get into anything, I just want to say this is a bit of a trigger warning. If conversations regarding sizes, food, fitness, any of that stuff is a trigger for you, please do not watch this video because we're going to be talking about all of that stuff. So yeah, got your questions here. I'm not gonna lie, I am like, I don't know how, we're never gonna get through all of these. I was shocked. This is probably the best response I've ever had to a Q&A. Like, honestly, ever. If you like this, I'm happy to do a part 2, but I know we're just not gonna obviously answer all of everyone's questions today. Do you feel 100% comfortable in swimwear? Both of you. Do you wanna go first?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting question because swimwear is different.
Yeah.
Like, there's a new element there. No, don't feel 100% comfortable all of the time. I definitely think I've tried on some itty bitty bikinis, particularly on this channel, that I would never wear out and about. Like, it sounds so stupid because I would wear them on here to show you guys, but I would never ever wear them out and about. Now I'm older, know what swimwear I do find comfortable and I do find suits my body type. Yeah. So I now know what to pick in certain situations. Like, I know exactly what sort of swimwear I would pick for a beach club versus like maybe being in a villa with just like one of my friends.
I feel like I've got better. I feel like I definitely used to not be as confident. But I feel like when you're in swimwear, you need to think, like, especially wherever you are, if you're on the beach or the pool, whatever, like, there's no reason not to feel uncomfortable because everyone's in the same, like, everyone's and most time people are looking at themselves like, so I feel like,
how are they looking at themselves?
Well, no, they're like, most time people are a little bit conscious of like themselves, so like there's no reason to feel I don't know, it's a weird one.
I think, like, honestly, trial and error, like, is so important when it comes to swimwear. Like, swimwear is so important. Like, I think it's more important than your clothing. If you're in a piece of, like, swimwear that is not, like, comfortable and doesn't, like, suit you and doesn't flatter you and you just feel like everything's out, like, you're never gonna feel good.
No, I definitely like, don't feel like when we've tried to take pictures sometimes in bikinis, like, I've had a few, like, mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know.
Which I think everyone does. Like, it's, also, like, we've had so many questions about that, and I'm sure we'll come on to that about, like, taking photos and getting, like, the perfect photo. But I've said this so many times, like, it's not real. Like, when we go and take our bikini photos, like, rule number one I always do is at the beginning of the day, I'll take my pictures as soon as I get there.
Before you've had your breakfast.
Before I've had, you know, eaten all my food or whatever, had a good time. Like, rule number 2, I normally have makeup on, which I would never normally wear makeup to the beach.
Same.
So there's like a lot of things.
And also, it's one picture that you get out of probably how many do you take about?
Like hundreds of pictures. There's like getting the good angle, like getting the person who's taking it to have the right like angle of the phone. Like, it is so much more complicated than I think people realise. Have you realised since taking more Instagram photos how it's not?
I have fully realised. Because at the beginning I was like, I used to get a bit upset because I was like, I'm trying to get these pictures and like they just don't look like how these other people get like these amazing pictures. But I've realised that how many you take at a time.
And the lighting, like for me, the number one thing is the light.
The light.
If you've got bad light, you're never going to get a good photo. Like, let me just start by telling you that.
Light angles, it's like the number one.
That's why the summer pictures always look better than the winter pics. Because you have that summer light and it's just chef's kiss. Do you feel the pressure to be the skinny girl with being in the public eye? So I feel like this was good to have like 2 different opinions.
Yeah, no, definitely 100%, especially on social media. Because I think when you're following all these, I actually feel like, I know people think Instagram's bad, but also TikTok, like, recently I've been going on TikTok.
TikTok's the most toxic app. I could do a whole video on TikTok.
Are so many girls in there and I'm just like, wow, like, you look unreal, like, amazing. I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. But I'm just like shocked because I'm like, sometimes I do feel a bit like,
what's going on? I actually have such a different opinion on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do not feel pressure to be super skinny with being in the public eye.
Not the public eye, I just mean when I go on Instagram, I'm like, wow, there are so many girls out there.
That's why it's so interesting to have this conversation because, like, you are arguably a large majority of people that would agree with what you're saying. I feel the other way. I feel like social media has been such a good tool at changing the typical narrative that there used to be.
Yeah.
In the media.
Yeah,
so
no,
I think
definitely.
when I grew up, like, yeah, definitely on magazines and stuff, there was that like standard body image. But I do think social media in a way has been quite amazing for some people, because it has allowed certain creators on this platform, which I'll link a load in the description box, to create content that shows a normal girl.
No, I definitely agree with that.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice, if you are feeling like that, is change your feed. You're in control of your feed. Like, you are in control of what you visually see, especially on Instagram. TikTok, not so much, I agree. But with Instagram, like, if all you're seeing is images that are making you feel like crap, then you need to change up who you're following. Yeah.
I definitely feel like, maybe it's just who I follow then.
No, because I think a lot of people do feel how you feel. That's why I wanted to have you on, like, to hear your opinion on this. You did grow up, and even though we're 3 years apart, like, you did grow up more so with social media than I ever did. You know, I don't remember when I got an Instagram account.
Yeah,
like,
I even feel like I slightly missed it a bit though. I feel like a couple years younger than me is like really. When I remember when I was younger, and I remember Instagram first starting up and everything like that. So do I.
Like, people talking about it.
I feel like I was just in that kind of
missing it a little bit.
What is it? The Gen Z and all that.
I get confused. Millennials, Gen Z. Like, what am I? A millennial? No, I can't be a millennial.
No. Millennials younger than
us.
Yeah, I think I'm like just a year. Oh no, well I'm 2 years because I'm 98. Yeah, millennials are 2000s onwards. Yeah, I feel like millennials really got hit with the like social media like,
bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah. Whereas maybe we didn't as much. Like, I still had Tamagotchis in year 6. We used to play with Tamagotchis on the playground. We weren't.
No, so did I.
That was the vibe back then. Opinions on using filters or photoshopping?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, I think you do you. Same. I feel like most people use a bit of Facetune and things like that.
100%.
But I think you need to remember that it's not like real. Instagram isn't real. Like Instagram everyone's using those apps. Everyone's smoothing their face. Everyone's
exactly. You know, and do you know what? Which I'm probably on the same wavelength as you. I'm not going to shame people for that.
No.
Like I think there's a lot of shaming that goes on social media as well. There's a lot of like, oh, she smoothed her skin. She removed that spot. Whatever. Okay, if it's to like a toxic degree where like you're literally editing your body in a way that is just doesn't look a thing like you, fair enough. But also, who am I to shame you for that? Like, that's something that's going on with you and your own insecurities that maybe you need to work on. No, but I do it as well. I don't mean it in a shady way. I mean it in like, so I'm not then going to add to the problem and be like, oh my God, they're editing their photos. Like, we all are. Like, I think it's being responsible about knowing that Instagram isn't real. And I think most people do know that now.
Instagram is a place though where you are going to put pictures up of yourself. That's the whole point of the app. You put pictures up. And you obviously want to look, it's natural to just want to look your best in those pictures that you're like showcasing to the world. So I think, you know, that's why people want to just, you know.
And also, there is an argument that needs to be said about the opposite way. So, like, obviously now I think Instagram is also dominated with a lot of, like, real images. So a lot of people do the, like, you know, edited, unedited, or, like, before and after, like, the real versus the, like, posed. Which I'm actually all here for, but I've heard things about people, like, manipulating themselves to get into those unposed positions. Am I making sense? Yeah. So it's almost like one extreme to the next. Like, yes, you're getting people that are over editing, but you're also getting people that are making themselves
look a certain
contorting
way.
into these unattractive poses as much as they possibly can in order to like seem real with their audience, and that also doesn't really sit right with me. So it's really difficult. Like, you're never going to be a perfect person, or I think if it's in excess, like, it is obviously not great.
Yeah.
But I'm also
just be aware that it's not.
It's all a lie. It's all a facade. It is all a lie, though.
It is.
You know? Do you ever feel pressure to get a boob job because it is so common on Insta?
I've never felt pressure to get a boob job. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. You do what you want, by the way. This is not to shade anyone that has.
No, honestly, if people have had it, I don't care at all. I just personally probably wouldn't.
Same.
But that's just because I'm not unhappy with my boobs. And I feel like I wouldn't.
I also just like can't be bothered for like a medical procedure that isn't necessary.
No. And
also, sometimes I don't love how this is, again, not shading anyone. I'm sure if you've had one and you love it, that's great, amazing, good for you, but this is just my opinion. I feel like I have to disclaim a lot of what I say on the internet because I'm always scared to offend anyone, but I don't love how a lot of them look. They look very
hard.
like...
Yeah, stuck.
You know, someone's just...
I think they've got a lot better at them though, because I you know, I was looking at Kylie Jenner's Instagram and I really feel like she has had a... Well, she hasn't admitted it, but
she's definitely had them done.
And if she has, you know...
She's got a good surgeon.
Yeah, they look very good.
Yeah, natural. They look natural.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just also a bit concerned about... Because I've had like a few health risks with
so have
jobs,
I, like rejections
things about
and people getting really ill.
Things turning around, the hair turning around.
I actually have no issue with people doing any sort of cosmetic procedure. I think my only issue is when it becomes like so normalised. Like to me, getting your eyebrows threaded and having like filler are two very different things.
Yeah.
But I do feel like our generation in society looks at those things now a little bit as the same.
What, filler and getting your eyebrows done?
Like it's become so normalised.
Like filler, you're
it's become so normalised.
Changing or adding something, whereas doing your eyebrows, you're just kind of...
No, I was just using that as an example, but like, don't you think like
you're just kind of like
shaping your... What I mean is like, don't you feel like people our age like look at it as like just so normal?
What, getting filler and things like that?
Like filler,
I think
Botox,
people on Instagram do. I don't. My friends wouldn't view it as normal. I don't think.
In the real world.
I don't think
friends.
I don't think they would view it as normal because I don't know anyone that has
had that done. But you are younger than me, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Feel pressure. Like, do you think it's a bit? Everyone has it. Do you? What are your overall thoughts on cosmetic surgery?
It doesn't bother me. Like, if you want to get it, you want to get it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it is a bit overdone.
Yeah,
especially
I agree.
in the Instagram world. Like, I feel like
people have lost sight of what a normal face looks like
this. And I think Molly May is actually a really great example. Like, she, I think, got a bit carried away with the filler and things like that. And she's so like beautiful. She literally didn't need it in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
And now she's kind of reversing.
What
she's getting done, and I think she's kind of she's like someone who's realised, you know what, I don't need.
It makes her look young. She looks more youthful. She looks really young and like.
And I think save that for when you're older and you actually really do kind of want it. Like I feel like right now, like I don't know, I feel like if I got it now, when I will regret it. I will regret it when I'm older. Yeah.
The other thing I just want to say as well is with the whole cosmetics surgery thing, or like just not even cosmetic, like just like facial, like fillers and things like that. I don't have an issue with it actually. I don't even have an issue about influencers doing it. I don't have an issue about people not telling people that they have it. Like fair enough, it is your decision. Like if you don't want to tell everyone, you are entitled to that. There's this whole thing like, well, if you have it done, you should really tell your audience because you're giving them a false idea. Well, no, it is your body. Like you don't have to tell people what you do with it.
Yeah, but if you are kind of in the public eye and you have a social media page and you're kind of like showing off your face and things like that, I think you should be open to your followers, and I do think you should be open and say what you've had done, because it does influence young people to think, oh, she looks
that's
like
how she looks without any work. And I do accept the argument 100%, but I also just feel like, who am I as a viewer of somebody else's content? That was a bit much.
Oh my god, they were fighting again. Every time they go outside, they have a little...
That sounded like... I wonder how that sounded on the camera.
What do you think Thank God
I wasn't recording with the microphone, because honestly it would have picked that up like straight away.
Oh my god.
What I'm trying to say, sorry, is who am I to tell someone else that they should tell me what they... No, do you know what I mean?
I agree with what you're saying.
At the end of the day, like, I shouldn't be telling people how they should...
I agree, but I think if you have a social media account where you have a large following, I think you do kind of have a responsibility to be open and honest with your followers. I don't know, that's just...
how you view it.
That is kind of how I view it.
I don't know, I think because I separate my life and my job so much, like, I just think... I don't tell everyone everything anyway.
But don't you think it intertwine? I'm not saying everything in terms of like, you know, your like relationship and sex life and all that kind of shit.
I think if you're 28 and you go and have a little bit of Botox in your forehead.
Not that, I'm saying the extreme, like if you're getting a lot done.
Yeah,
maybe if you're getting here and there, it doesn't.
That's what I mean.
It's not as noticeable.
Because also the whole point of it is that you want it to look natural. For me, like I've never, but if I was going to go and have something done, I would want it to look so natural that people couldn't even tell. So it's really difficult, because then you're supposed to then come on and say, I've had da-da-da. Isn't that the whole point that you're like... It's really difficult. It is. I totally get where you're coming from. I completely see your line of argument. But I just don't think anyone owes anyone anything online. I think there is this idea that because you have a social media platform, you suddenly owe people things about yourself. Like, and that's probably just a bit of a wider conversation.
Fair enough,
and I
fair
just,
enough.
yeah, do you get what I mean? I
get
never want
that.
to be in that place where like people think they're owed things from.
I get that if it's separate to your job, but I do feel like things like filler and cosmetic does come
because you are
with the job,
promoting
or if you're promoting beauty and things like that.
And like,
I
this
feel like
amazing
it kind of
cream. I love this
intertwines.
amazing cream. I mean, I
Yeah,
see
like,
this
it
all
gets
the
rid of my
time.
wrinkles.
I see this
Actually even
all the
getting
time.
Botox.
Like 30-year-olds, like, or like 35-year-olds being like, oh my god, this cream literally undid the time of aging.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later they'll do a video where they're like, I've been having Botox for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so
See,
that's £200
that's
cream
what I
that you were.
Yeah.
So no, I get what you're saying. It's such a complicated argument. There we go. This is a good question because it's come up so much. So I feel like we should definitely talk about it because it's kind of interesting. I think that's why we've got 2 people on here tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Do you ever compare? This is a really simple way of asking the question, but people have phrased it in different ways. Do you ever compare your bodies to each other? So should I go first?
Yeah, you
So
go first.
I've not been bigger because I think that's has really negative connotations with that word. So it's really difficult to phrase this in the correct way, but I've always been a bigger dress size than you.
But see, this is where the difference is. It's just, I think, that we put on our weight in different areas.
But I've always been well, not always, but like within the last like 10 years, like, or the 8 years of my life. I think there's definitely times where like Liv would buy something. It's more when she buys things from a shop rather than like on holiday, like, oh, I wish I looked like my sister. Like, I've never really, but I've just never been that person in general. Even if I see someone that's like, say a supermodel was walking next to us, or like Phoebe or loads of my friends, I've never been someone that's like, I wish I was them.
No,
like,
same.
I'm busy
I
in my
can
own...
appreciate and...
but I'm too busy having a Fanta Lemon, I'm too busy putting on the sun cream. Like, my mind doesn't really go there in the moment. But the times I have done with you is probably when you've bought things. This is probably like the perfect example, like a shorts play suit. There's like maybe fluffier on top, like, and then like your like slim legs are in the shorts play suit, and I've thought, oh, that looks great. Like it wouldn't look. I've always thought, oh, it wouldn't look the same on me.
But then there's certain things I feel like that with you, like things like little crop tops. I definitely put my weight on more on my stomach, whereas I feel like you're quite, you're quite taut, like in the stomach area, whereas I'm a bit more like, ooh. So I feel like things like that, maybe, but I've never like literally compared.
Neither have I.
I appreciate that we have different body types and we put on weight in different areas, and maybe I can wear something, you can wear something that I or not can't,
but like I prefer the look of it. Yeah, you just more flattering. But
that's just everyone has different bodies, don't they?
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, I just think I don't have. Maybe it is an age thing. Like, as I've got older, like, I just don't have the time to sit and compare. I've got too many things going on. Like,
and at the end of the day, you have your body for the rest of your life. So.
Exactly, you can't swap it.
Yeah.
So like, you're you and I'm me, and like that's just the way. No point wasting. Yeah. I recently got diagnosed with adult cystic acne. Have you guys ever experienced any skin troubles?
Yes, I've definitely experienced skin troubles. I actually think only recently my skin has started to calm down.
Yeah, your skin looks amazing right now.
Thanks. When I was like mid-teens was when I started getting spots, and I kind of started getting them on my forehead a lot.
Yeah. Same really.
Yeah,
when I was like 15.
I kind of ignored it. It didn't really, I mean, it did bother me, but I just kind of thought, I'll grow out of it, whatever. And then I actually ended up going to the doctor for something completely different, and she was like,
oh my god, yeah.
I feel like you need something for your skin. I was like, okay, fair enough, like, great.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware that it wasn't, like, great, but...
Yeah, kind of rude of her, but,
No, but I'm actually really grateful she did that, because I would have probably mentioned it, but I didn't want to be... I don't know, I feel like sometimes you're a bit embarrassed to mention it. You feel like, oh, maybe mine's not... I never had, like... you see something really bad. Like,
yeah, so you didn't want to be like, oh, I'm...
Yes.
I get you.
But, it wasn't great, and I didn't like it. So she ended up prescribing me Limacycline. I don't know if anyone's
Yeah, that's what I'm having on now.
Which worked really well for me. I was on it for quite a long time, and actually only been off it for a year or two, maybe. And a cream as well, and that really helped clear my skin up. And the only thing I would say is that when I was younger, I used to get it a lot on my forehead, and then it kind of went to my cheeks. You know what I mean? Like,
mine is always around here.
I still struggle with my cheeks.
Always around here.
Yeah.
And I always get comments like, your skin's amazing, your skin's amazing. Like, makeup's amazing.
Oh my god, honestly, makeup.
Makeup's amazing.
I couldn't do without it.
And also the sun really clears up my skin. So in the summer when I'm not wearing as much makeup and I'm vlogging and filming makeup free, is the summer when the sun has done wonders for my skin.
I've definitely gone through phases where I've struggled with my skin.
Yeah.
And
you're not alone.
I feel like I've only recently been a lot happier with my skin, but it's definitely taken time.
Yeah. Just persevere, like find a routine that maybe works for you. Find like, obviously there are medications out there. Find a doctor that wants to listen to you. Like I hear that a lot, like people saying like, oh, I went to so-and-so and they just didn't really want to know. Then you're not going to the right person. Like find someone that makes you feel valid about the insecurities or not insecurities, that's probably not the correct word, like just struggles you're having. Yeah. I'm on that lime whatever, lime.
It's a very odd name.
Yeah, it's a very long name. The fact you know it like that, honey, wow.
No, I mean, it's because I took it for
so long, yeah. For the skin on the top of my back, like, and I'm 25, so, you know, I know you've just said that you've recently got diagnosed with adult cystic acne. Like, it's not a teenage thing. Like, I think that's totally a
100%
fallacy. Like, that's not true. Like, you can get it when you're older. Yeah. So you're not alone as well. I think, again, social media, Facetune, the smoothing of the skin, skin texture doesn't exist on Instagram. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist on YouTube now as well, because people that do these makeup tutorials have got like a filter thing that blurs all their face. What? Yeah, so skin texture just like...
I didn't know that.
Skin texture
also,
is not shown up.
Lighting is crazy. Like, honestly, without this light, it's crazy how much more you can see.
100%, yeah. So, I feel you. Interested about your thoughts on this, because I've actually spoken about this recently on my channel. I feel like I have kind of a controversial opinion. Okay. So, thoughts on the rush to be June 21st ready. Love your content at the moment. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much.
Thoughts on the
rush to be June 21st ready. So I think this is a major thing on TikTok.
Yes.
Like, I'm seeing a lot of the like baked oats trending. I'm seeing a lot of the calorie deficit videos trending. Okay. I'm seeing the like, let's get ready for June 21st. Let's be on it for June 21st. Thoughts on that whole concept?
Well, I think obviously, you know, there's no pressure to feel like you have to be a certain... I feel like in lockdown a lot of people maybe have struggled.
Yeah, 100%. Who hasn't put on a bit of weight in lockdown?
No, definitely. But I don't know, that's a really tricky one.
Because I'm seeing a lot of girls on Instagram saying like, do not feel pressured, like that's such a toxic rhetoric to promote to young people, this pressure that they have to work towards a goal. Now, whilst I actually agree with that, I also kind of agree with the opposite side. That is sort of like, if you have put on weight and maybe you're in an unhealthy point, a point where maybe you are overweight, a goal of a certain date that maybe makes you work hard, maybe, you know, does more exercise or does think more consciously about what you're eating, I don't see that as a negative thing.
I agree, but I don't know why it has to be June 21st. I mean, I know that maybe a club will open then, but like, I feel like set a goal for yourself as rather than a date, rather than like, oh, this date everyone's going to be out. Like,
that's so true. That's so true.
I don't know.
Unless that works for you. Like, my mind works very much. I work very well with goals and targets and dates. So for someone like me, having dates, targets are really, I find them really encouraging. But yes, I agree with you. Like, what's going to happen on June 21st?
Yeah, I also feel like, you know,
with your friends and have fun.
We are still in lockdown. Like, I think people are forgetting we're still in lockdown. So how come then maybe like 6 months ago when we were in lockdown, or however long we were in a strict lockdown, and people were like, oh, like, relax, like, for your mental health, like, take care of yourself, kind of eat what you want. And now all of a sudden it's like, get ready for June 21st. Yeah. And it's like, we're still in the same situation that we were however many months ago when you were saying, look after yourself. You know, so... Yeah. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the point I'm just maybe trying to touch on is, I do think that with social media, like, we're so worried to ever say anything
that's not the norm.
That's not the norm, that isn't like, love yourself. And of course I want everyone that's watching this video to be happy in their own skin, to love themselves, to feel comfortable. I also think that's a whole other thing. You don't have to love yourself, you can be okay with yourself. That's also okay. Let's promote that a little bit more. You don't have to love every single insecurity. But I also understand this idea of like, maybe promoting something that's unhealthy isn't always great and beneficial to people.
No, I do get that. 100%, I agree with that.
Yeah.
The date thing is a bit annoying for me. Like, it doesn't have to be June 21st. Like, if you've got a bit overweight over lockdown or whatever's happened, you know, don't pressure, like, just...
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like you shouldn't be pressured
by a date. I also think June 21st, right? Can we just get this whole June 21st?
No, I bet you, we're going to wake up June 21st. It's probably going to be really, like, exactly the same.
No, it's not going to be exactly the same. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing because you're going to be with your friends, drinking, having fun. Please
enjoying
don't, on
life.
June 21st,
please
don't be like, oh my God, like, I can't wear this dress because it makes me feel... No, June 21st is about celebrating life, okay? That's like, you know...
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I agree with you about
June
that.
21st, you should be looking more forward to, you're right, like the times you're going to spend with your friends
having
like,
fun, out in the sun.
I get what you're saying, you shouldn't be worrying what
you're going to look like, yeah. But if that is something that's motivating you to maybe lose a little bit of weight that is unhealthy, that's also not a bad thing.
No,
like, good for you, you're in control of your body, you're doing something actively to make yourself feel better, and I also think that's a good thing. I'm not going to demonise that.
It's a tricky one, because you don't want to, you know, be dangerous in the way you're doing it.
I know. Someone's asking us a little bit about, following on from what we were just talking about, the difference between body acceptance and like body confidence or like self-love. Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Like, a few years ago it was very much like self-love, like love everything. Now there's more of a movement, arguably, that's more just acceptance.
I'm struggling to find an answer to it because I think it's a very difficult question.
I think the point I'm trying to make is I think with Instagram, you're made to feel like you have to love all these things you don't like about yourself. You're made to feel like you have to love your cellulite. You have to love your stretch marks. You have to love your bingo wings. It's also okay, like, just to accept them. Like, I don't really feel anything about them.
No, I agree. Because you don't want to make yourself, you know, love something if you
genuinely don't love it. Like, it's okay to just be mediocre. Obviously, self-hating and self-loathing is not good at all. But if we're talking about this on a scale, like, it's okay to be in the middle and just be like, I don't really have any thoughts.
There are parts that are just,
like,
they're
just
part of me and that's that. And I don't want to hate them, but then I also don't want to love them.
Like, they're just there. Yeah. Like, my ears, like, okay, I would change things about them. You know, I've got quite chubby earlobes, like, like, we're really going on to, like, a pinnacle. Like, getting really funny about it.
I hate my ears so much.
What I mean is, like, I just don't really feel anything. Like, okay, let's pick another body part.
No, it's fine.
Like my hands, okay? Like, my hands are quite manly.
I've got big ears.
My hands are quite manly, but I don't hate them. I won't have a, you know, a hand job.
See, I don't... Is that a thing? Do people do that?
Oh God,
you've just pointed out the two things that I hate most about myself.
Oh, for fuck's sake. If I said anything else, though, you would have gone, oh my God, if I said my kneecaps, you would have
I think I don't like my hands there at the moment because I haven't been able to get my nails done. It's making me a bit sad.
What I'm trying to say is, like, it's okay to just feel like, you know,
can't force
love.
So
if
I'm being serious. Like, if there's a part of your body that you don't love, you can't force yourself.
No, you can't. That's what I mean. I agree.
Just acknowledge it's there and accept it, and just think,
move on.
That's that.
I'll answer this question because it's kind of just been worded in so many different ways. How to not feel insecure about going up a dress size, how to deal with weight gain, just advice on that kind of thing, which I think a lot of people obviously struggled with during lockdown.
Remember that, like, weight fluctuation is such a normal thing.
I agree.
And, like, your weight is always gonna,
especially for women,
go like that.
Especially for women, the things like even in the month, you know, like, and
stress as well, which obviously has been quite a stressful
having babies, like you know, becoming like a teenager, like all of, and in your early like adult years. Like,
one thing I've really found is, like, going from, like, late teens to in your 20s, like, my body really, I feel like my body did really change then.
Yeah, and people normally talk about teens rather than, like, going into your early 20s.
Yeah, and I think that's something I didn't really realise. Because when I was, like, 19, I thought that was just, like, how I was. But my body really did change when I got into my 20s. Yeah.
I think dealing with it, like, I think firstly, like, just give yourself a bit of, like, cut yourself a bit of slack. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Like, we're our own worst critic, we're our own biggest critic. Like, I think, like, we've said a lot throughout this video, but, like, this year's obviously been very difficult. If you've coped, if that's been your coping mechanism, fine. Like, that's how a lot of people have coped. I think also, like, with the whole dress size thing in particular, going up a dress size, I'm a different dress size in every single shop.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Dress sizes
are not a way to go off of,
they're
like,
definitely not.
how you feel about yourself. Like, I am a different size in every single shop. And also, like, I've said this before on my channel, but I will say it again. If you are that, if dress sizes leave you feeling that awful about yourself and self-loathing, cut the tag out of your clothes, because you're obviously in a place where, like, you're constantly analysing your dress size and, like, it's just not healthy. Like, don't look at them. I sometimes go in a shop and hold up the items.
Oh my God.
And decide then what size I'm probably going to fit into, rather than looking in the label.
You know what I also did the other day? I was like clearing out my jeans or whatever, and I held 2 jeans up against each other that were the same size, and honestly, they were about 2 sizes too different. And they said in the label that they were the same size.
Sneaky sneak.
I was just like, you know, so that's one thing to remember, like.
Yeah. It's different shops are different sizes, like, it's just, yeah.
Dress size on my...
That's why I'm very anti, like, as much as I love Brandy and I love the clothes they do, but, like, I am kind of anti this whole, like, one size fits all. Like, it really...
God. And it's like a size 6 their stuff.
I agree. And one size doesn't fit one human being, let alone, like, 500. Like, if you try on a top that's one size fits all and bottoms, like, they're gonna look completely different.
Definitely.
Just acceptance is, like, probably the first thing. Like, look, it is what it is. Don't dwell on the past. Like, you have to live in the present moment. Like, what a life are you living if you're constantly saying, oh, I've put on this much weight? Like, no, live in the present moment. It is what it is.
I agree.
If it's to a point where you think it's genuinely as unhealthy and, like, affecting your everyday life, you're in control of your own life and your own destiny, so you could do something about it.
And I agree, like, nothing is, like, forever. Like,
nothing's permanent.
You know, like, it's just because you've gone up a dress size doesn't mean that you're going to be the same size for however long, and you know,
exactly.
you can change,
go up and down.
Yeah.
And honestly, my probably one biggest piece of advice, like, there's way bigger fish to fry in this lifetime. There's way bigger things to worry about. You know, if you said to somebody, my biggest worry is, like, what dress size, like, people would genuinely laugh at you, and not to devalue what you're saying, but just please be aware, like, there are so many bigger things. Like, you have your health, you know, your family, or, like, all of those things, a roof over your head, like, those things are actual valuable things to be worried about. I don't want to waste my life worrying about my size. I read this quote, I'll pop it on the screen, but it's something about, like, this 80-year-old woman, and when they asked her, like, what her biggest regret was, and she was like, I wish I'd spent less time worrying about whether or not I should eat that pizza, and just live in the moment.
The things you remember are, like, memories, going to eat at that place, or having fun with your friends, having a few too many drinks,
you don't remember
restricting yourself, you know, you don't remember, like, oh, I'm not going to have that cocktail because it's got 100 more calories in it, or whatever it is.
Exactly. Getting a lot by the end, but I think we answered quite a few questions. There are so many more questions.
Yeah, there are loads.
There's loads. So if you want us to do a part 2, let us know, and maybe we could potentially do a part 2 to this video, because I quite like these chatty, chilled vibes.
And it's nice knowing that everyone's kind of
in the same,
knowing everyone's going through the same things. Yeah. Makes you realise, like, how many of you as well have, like, the same struggles.
Exactly. And same. Like, we're all in this boat, you know. Thanks for being on the channel. It's my special guest.
Thanks for having me again.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'll leave both mine and Livy's links below. Huge shout out if you guys did send us a question. Let us know in the comments if you want a part 2. We are so down for filming that.
Definitely.
Just let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like it. Check us out on Insta. Hopefully you like this style of video. I've missed filming it so much. And I'm sure there'll be so much more to come over the next few months on this sort of topics. There's so many topics we could talk about. And not just body image, like...
I mean, we could be a day thinking of different topics.
We're really good.
We didn't list one, but we can't
list one. But we're like, oh, there's so many things you can talk about.
Hey, there's a lot. There's boys problems. There's
girlfriend problems, like friend problems.
There's career problems.
That's a good one. Uni.
You know what is one thing as well? Uni as well. But also career.
I agree.
No one really talks about careers and like, you know,
experiences
where
you have.
Where are you going with your life? Like,
yeah, those big questions. Philosophical questions, you know, what happens when we die? Like, whoa.
I would love to on that. I find it so intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's basically what I'm trying to say.